So in this session, we'll be solving numericals related to this three-phase circuits. Okay. So already a document has been shared in your WhatsApp group. So we'll solve numericals in the sequence as defined. So first we'll go to the first numerical. So in case of first numerical, the statement is like this: when three balanced impedances are star connected across a three-phase 450 volt 50 hertz supply, the line current drawn is 20 amps at a lagging power factor of 0.4. Determine the parameters of the impedance in each phase. Okay, so first we'll try to understand this numerical. What he's saying, he's saying that our load is a three-phase load and it is in star form. Then he's saying that this load is being excited by an three-phase source whose potential or whose parameters are 415 volts 50 hertz supply. Then our load is drawing the current from the supply whose value is found to be as 20 amps at lagging power factor. Now, what is this or the hint what he is giving over here? When I say that the power factor, it is a lagging power factor. What does this mean? What kind of a load I'm having in each phase? Please answer in the group chat. It's a very key aspect of hunting the answer. Yes, good, very good. So that indicates that the load is of type inductive. Is it a pure inductor? Is it a pure inductor? No. Okay. Then what kind of load are you expecting there? It's a RL load, right? Very good. It's an RL load. Okay. Then what he's asking us determine the parameters of the impedance in each phase. So it means what he's asking, what is the value of the impedance, you say me first. Then you compute what is the value of the resistance, what is the value of the inductance. Understanding? Okay, so we'll solve this numerical in steps. So first we'll write what he has given. So with respect to the given part, so he has said that the three balanced impedances, so that is a very important term, balanced impedances, three balanced impedances in star connection, okay, across a three-phase 415 volts. So supply voltage is 415 volts. Okay, frequency is the 50 hertz, and line current drawn is 20 amps. IL is equal to 20 amps at a lagging power factor of zero point 0.4. At lagging power factor of 0.4. Lagging power factor of 0.4. Determine the parameters of the impedance in each phase. So what he's asking? He's asking us first the value of impedance. Then he's asking impedance parameters. Impedance parameters means R and L. Now how did I say that this is L? Depending upon the term lagging. So this was a key term for me to identify what is the nature of the load. Okay. So now we'll draw the circuit for your reference. Now the star connected load is being shown like this. So this is R, L in one place. Then again I'll be having R and L in second phase. R, L in the third phase. So this forms an impedance Z. This forms and impedance Z. So you may be thinking, so sir, why you are not writing ZR, ZY, ZB? Because we have said me that all the impedance they are the balanced impedance. It means impedance of R phase is equals to impedance of Y phase is equals to impedance of the Z phase. Okay, so this is my R phase, the Y phase, okay, and this is the B phase. Okay, the R phase, the Y phase, and the B phase. R phase, the Y phase, and the B phase. Okay, so what he has said, the applied voltage, the applied voltage is 415 volts. Okay, and the value of current drawn IL is equals to 20 amps. So this is what he has given. So the given data we are able to represent over here in terms of the circuit diagram. Okay, so now we'll start computing the required parameters one by one. The first step. What's the first step? First step, it is to compute the phase voltage. It is to compute the phase voltage. Now you may be thinking, sir, why I need to compute the phase voltage? Because you understand what I am hunting for. I am hunting for what is the impedance of this particular branch, right? So when all these three terminals they are connected, this forms the neutral. Now this is the neutral point. I want what is the impedance of this branch. So first I should know what is this voltage. So what is this voltage? So this is nothing but the phase voltage. So this is nothing but the phase voltage. So once if I know the phase voltage, I know what is the current, then I can compute the impedance. So if I know the impedance, then somehow with some alternative equations, I can compute what is the resistance and what is the inductance. So first I need to compute the phase voltage. I need to compute the phase voltage. So in order to compute the phase voltage, I'll be using the equation phase voltage is equals to V phase is equals to EL divided by the root 3, or you can say VL divided by root 3. So since you are using over here V phase, okay, it's up to you. Either you can use V or you can use E. Both are one and the same. Okay, it's up to you people. So VL by root 3. So I know what is VL. So this line voltage is how much? 415 volts divided by the root 3. So what is this answer? What's the answer for this ratio? 415 by root 3. That stands as 239.6 volts. Okay, good. 239.6 volts. Okay, I want the response from all the students attending the session. I don't want students to just be new with that. So once if you are able to compute the V phase, second, you know that since it is star connection, since it is star connection, we have derived the equation wherein our phase current, our phase current will be equal to line current, which is nothing but the 20 amps, what he has given, right? Then I want to compute, I need to compute what is the impedance of the phase. So it's nothing but I am going to apply my Ohm's law. I want the impedance. Yes or no? So V is equals to I into R. So when I want R, it is V divided by I. So instead of only R, I am having some amount of the inductance. So some reactance is offered. So therefore I am having the impedance. So how to write the value for this impedance? How to write the value for impedance? The impedance has been given by V phase divided by the I phase. V phase divided by the I phase. So how I can write this? I can write this as, I know what's the value of V phase. Value of V phase is going to be 239.6 divided by the value of I phase. The value of I phase is going to be 20 amps. So this is equals to, what is the answer? 11.98 ohms. 11.98 ohms. So this is impedance of the each phase. Fine. Then next, I know that how is the power factor being defined. So power factor has been defined as cos phi is equals to R divided by Z. Am I right? So we have studied this during our single phase circuits, if you remember it. So various forms in which the power factor can be defined. So cos phi has been defined as R by Z, right? So I know cos phi, this is given data, Z I have computed it, then I can compute the R. So this implies R is equals to Z into cos phi. Z into cos phi, which is equals to, what's the value of Z? Value of Z is 11.98 into the value of cos phi. The value of cos phi is given as, what's the value of cos phi? The value of cos phi is zero point 0.4. Power factor is going to be as 0.4. Then what is the answer for the R? What is the answer for R? 4.792 ohms. 4.792 ohms. Is it clear? Okay. Then, so once we are able to compute till R, what is our next value? I need to compute what is the inductive reactance, XL. So how to compute XL? So we know that as we solve such numericals in single phase circuits, XL is being given by square root of Z square minus the R square, right? XL is being given by square root of Z square minus the R square. Then I can write this as what now? Square root of Z. We are able to compute its value as 11.98 the whole square minus, what's the value of R? The value of R is found to be 4.792 the whole square. Okay. The value of XL is found to be, yes, it is 10.98 ohms. 10.98 ohms. Okay. So once if you are able to compute the value of XL, you know that inductance can be defined as XL divided by 2 pi f. XL divided by 2 pi f, because we know that this fundamental definition is known to us, right? XL is 2 pi FL. Then if you are writing the equation for L, then XL divided by 2 pi f. So from this equation, I am able to write this equation. Okay. Then I can write L is equals to, what's the value of XL? We have computed it as 10.98 divided by 2. Pi value is 3.142 into frequency has given as the 50 hertz. Then what's the value of L? What is the value of L? So 0.035 Henry. It should be written in standard form. So I should write this as 35 milli Henry. 35 milli Henry. Clear? Okay. Any doubts in this numerical? Any doubts in this numerical? Okay. So now we'll go for the next numerical, the second numerical. Their numericals are simple. Okay, only the thing is that you should have presence of mind when you're solving it. You should not fumble yourself. Okay, then you'll be losing the marks. So if at all if you are serious enough and having presence of mind while writing, it's more than sufficient. Okay, fine. So now we will solve second numerical. Okay. So I'll first read out the numerical type. A delta connected load consists of a resistance of 10 ohms and a capacitance of 100 microfarad in each phase. A supply of 410 volts at 50 hertz is applied to the load. Find line current, power factor, and power consumed by the load. Okay, so what he's saying now that the nature of the load, it is R and C in each phase, and it is connected in delta. So he's saying the supply what has been applied is 410 at 50 hertz. He's asking us to compute what is the line current, power factor, and power consumed by the load. Okay, so we'll solve this type of a numerical, no problem. So first we will write what is given. Okay, what he has said that a delta connected load. So load is delta connected. So I suggest to students that when you are solving numericals on three phase, you first write whether load is delta or it is star. Because even though equations are very simple, for delta connected load, if you apply star equations, then your numerical is wrong. So better, whichever numericals are solving, whichever type of numericals are solving, make sure you are going to write how is your load connection, whether it is in delta or it is in star. So this statement itself will make it clear what kind of equations you should use in your approach, right? So our load is delta connected. Then he's saying that the resistance offered is R is equals to 10 ohms and a capacitance of 100 microfarad. 100 microfarad. Okay, in each phase, a supply of, so potential is 410 volts applied at a frequency of 50 hertz. Okay, is applied to the load. Find the line current IL, then power factor, then power. These three parameters he is asking us: line current, power factor, and the power. Okay, so we'll try to replicate this given data in terms of circuit diagram. So for your reference, what I can do over here is, since I'm having R and C, what does this mean? And load is in terms of delta. So it means I need to build a circuit wherein I am having a resistance in series with the capacitance. Okay, I think here also I am having some resistance in series with the capacitance. Okay. Similarly, resistance in series with the capacitance. Okay, so this is my R phase, the Y phase, and the B phase. R phase, Y phase, and the B phase. Okay, so this is the impedance. This is the impedance which is being seen. So in the previous case, with respect to impedance, I was having the inductor, but now I'm having the capacitance, right? So he's saying that the voltage what is being applied to the circuit is what 410 volts. So this is what he has given in the data. So with respect to this, what all is asking, what is the line current, what is the power factor, and what is the power consumed by the circuit. Okay, so we'll solve this numerical stepwise. Fine. Okay. So now, since first he has given us the value of the capacitance, we need to compute what is the reactance offered, so that we can compute what is the impedance. Okay, our basic intention is to compute the impedance. So to compute the impedance, I should know what is the reactance. Okay, so I need to compute what is XC now. So XC is defined as 1 over 2 pi FC. X is being defined as 1 over 2 pi FC. So this is equals to 1 divided by 2 constant. Pi is 3.142 into frequency value, it is 50 hertz, into the value of capacitance. What's the value of capacitance? It is 100 microfarad. 10 raised to minus 6. So what is the value of Xc? What is the value of Xc? Good. 31.84 or 85, whatever you suggest in the column. 31.85 ohm. Okay. Then once if I know the reactance, then impedance can be defined as, or impedance of each phase is being defined as square root of r square plus the xc square. This is equals to square root of, what is the value of r? R he has given us. He has given us the value of R as 10 ohms. So 10 square plus what is xc? 31.85 square. So what is the value of impedance? What's the value of impedance? 33.38 ohms. Okay, good. 33.38 ohms. Okay, again my remaining students are not answering in the session, so I want all the students to answer. So impedance of each phase is found to be 33.38 ohms. Okay, then now we know that this type of connection, it is a delta connection. It's a delta connection. So in case of delta connection, if we know that our line voltage, or I can say that our phase voltage is same as that of line voltage, which is nothing but 410 volts. Which is nothing but 410 volts. Then I can simply compute what is my line current. So line current will be equal to what now? Line current will be equal to root 3 times that of the phase current. Root 3 times that of the phase current. Then, so root 3 as this, root 3 as this, into the value of phase current. The value of phase current is found to be, sorry, the value of phase current is found to be, yes, what's the value of phase current? So first we have to compute the value of IPH, right? Because we know what is ZPH and also we know what is VPH. So in that case, how to compute this? So I can say that the phase current, since I know the impedance of each phase, so I'm just going to apply Ohm's law. I phase is equals to V phase divided by Z phase. So what is V phase? V phase, V phase is how much? So we know that V phase is 410 volts divided by impedance of each phase is nothing but 33.38. What is this answer? 410 by 33.38. This turns out as 12.28 amps. 12.28 amps. Okay, then I can write over here my I phase is 12.28 amps. Then what's the answer for this? Root 3 to 12.28. That turns out as 21.28 amps. 21.28 amps. Okay, fine. Now once now this means I'm able to compute what is the value of line current. I'm able to compute what's the value of line current. Then after computing this line current, now I need to compute what is the power factor. So how to compute power factor? So to compute this power factor, I use the equation cos phi is equals to cos phi is equals to cos phi is equals to r divided by z. What's the value of r? R he has given it as 10. What's the value of z? Z we are able to compute 33.38 ohms. So this turns out as, what's the value of power factor? Cos phi 0.3. So we only will write 0.3, nothing will write other than this. Good, Jatin. You'll be writing this as leading. Why are you going to write it as leading? Because of the presence of the capacitive reactance. because of the presence of capacitive reactance. So whenever you are writing the power factor, you should not just write the numerical value as 0.3, 0.5, 0.7 like that. You should also specify what is the nature of that. You should also specify what's the nature of that. Is it clear? Okay. Then after defining this power factor, then we need to compute what is the power. So power P is being given by root 3 EL IL cos phi. Root 3 EL IL cos phi. So this is root 3 as this into EL. So it's a delta connected load. So EL is equals to E phase. So which is nothing but 410 volts in this numerical as has said us. So we are able to compute what is the line current. So line current is found to be as 21.27 amps. 21.27 or 28, whatever people are able to compute. What's the value of IL? 21.28 amps. That's not a problem. 21.28 amps into the value of power factor 0.3. So what's the value of P now? What is the value of P? It stands to be as 4,533 watts. Okay, not a problem. So you are getting 4,533.5 watts. Okay, understanding? Any doubt in this numerical? Any steps are not understood? Any doubt in this numerical? Okay. So now we'll go for the third numerical. We'll go for the third numerical. The third and fourth numerical are very interesting, to be frankly speaking, and they are important from examination perspective. So in examination, out of these four numericals, you can expect one numerical. Out of these four only, you can expect one numerical. Okay. So only there may be change in the data, but this is the maximum varieties of the numericals that we can expect it in this bit. So beyond these four type of numerical, you will not get any numerical as such. Okay. So what I'm interacting over here is just various types. So you are able to see it. So sharp type of load, delta type of load. Okay, it's one kind of a numerical. Second thing is that it is related to your measurement of three phase power using two wattmeter method. So wherein they will say you what is the power being consumed, and you have to compute the wattmeter readings W1, W2. In second type, he will give you the wattmeter reading W1, W2. You have to compute what is the total power being consumed. Okay. Now I'll ask you one question. If W1 and W2 are the wattmeter readings, then what is the total power consumed by the three-phase circuit? Give me the equation. If W1 and W2 are the wattmeter readings in a three-phase circuit, then what is the equation for the total power being consumed? What's the equation? Good, very good. So Vaibhavi, Muhammad Fazal, and Vinay Gama. Only these two students are able to answer. What about remaining? Sagarika now. Okay. So the total power being consumed is being given by W1 plus the W2. Right? The same thing you need to apply it in these both numericals. Okay. So we'll solve the third numerical now. We'll solve the third numerical. So in the third numerical, let me read the statement first. A three-phase 400 volt motor takes an input of 40 kilowatts at 0.45 power factor lagging. Find the reading of each of the two single-phase wattmeters connected to measure the input. Okay. So what he's saying that The network it is of type three phase. The voltage what has been applied is 400 volts, and the motor whatever he is running, so that motor it is taking an input of 40 kilowatts. It is taking the input of 40 kilowatts. So what is this 40 kilowatts now? What is this 40 kilowatts? He's saying it's an input. Input. Then how can you write this? Since it is watts, it has to be power only. There is no doubt in that. It's an input power. But what it is resembling? Yes, good. Good, Vijayalakshmi. So this is resembling. This is resembling. What is the power being consumed? There is nothing but W1 plus W2. So you should be able to write like this. W1 plus W2 is equals to 40 kilowatts. Understanding? Then he is giving what is the power factor. The value of power factor is 0.45 lagging. Okay. Find the reading of each of the two single phase wattmeters connected to measure the input. So what he's asking now? He's asking us what is the reading of W1, what is the reading of W2. That's all. Alright? Okay. So now what we have to do is, so since you have written the given part, now I can write the equation saying that since we know what is the total input being drawn by the circuit, what's total input drawn by the circuit. So let me say that let W1 plus W2 is equals to 40 kilowatts. I'll call this as equation number 1. W1 plus W2 is equals to 40 kilowatts is equation 1. Now, with respect to this wattmeter reading, I am having only one equation. Other than that, I don't have any other equations. That is equation for power factor, cos phi. The equation for power factor has been given by cos phi is equals to cos of tan inverse of root 3 into W1 minus W2 divided by W1 plus W2. Am I right? W1 plus W2. Now I know what is the value of this cos phi. The value of cos phi is what? 0.45 is equals to cos of tan inverse of root 3 into W1 minus W2 divided by W1 plus W2. Now, I'll take this cos from my RHS to LHS. So what happens? Cos inverse of 0.45 is equals to tan inverse of root 3 into W1 minus W2 divided by W1 plus W2. What's the answer of this? Cos inverse of 0.45. Please help me out. What is the answer for cos inverse of 0.45? This stands to be as 63.26 degree. 63.26 degree is equals to tan inverse of root 3 into W1 minus W2 divided by W1 plus W2. Now I'll take this tan inverse from RHS to LHS. So what happens? This turns out as tan of, because already it is tan inverse. So tan of 63.26 degree is equals to root 3 into W1 minus W2 divided by W1 plus W2. What is this answer? Tan of 63.26. It stands to as 1.98. 1.98 is equals to root 3 W1 minus W2 divided by W1 plus W2. So take this root 3 to the denominator. So what will be getting? Will be getting 1.98 divided by root 3. Will be getting this as 1.98 divided by root 3 is equals to W1 minus W2 divided by W1 plus W2. So what is this ratio? What is this ratio? 1.98 divided by root 3. That turns out as 1.14. 1.14 is equals to W1 minus W2 divided by W1 plus W2. Now send your W1 plus W2 from this RHS to LHS. If I send there, what happens? I know what is the value of W1 plus W2. So this implies W1 plus W2 into 1.14 is equals to W1 minus W2. So this implies W1 minus W2 is equals to, what is this value? W1 plus W2. W1 plus W2 is nothing but 40 kilowatts into 1.14. So this turns out as what? What is this answer? 40k into 1.14, 45.84. 45.84 kilowatts. Okay, so it means now I got two equations. So therefore, W1 minus W2 is equals to 45.84 K. Okay, so this is my equation number 2. This is my equation number 2. So two unknowns, W1, W2, two equations. Two unknowns, two equations. So my equation number 1 is what? W1 plus W2. My equation number 1 is W1 plus W2 is equals to 40 kilowatts. My equation 2 is W1 minus W2 is equals to 45.8, what's the value? 45.84 kilowatts. So this is my equation 1, this is my equation 2. So I need to just solve this simultaneous equation. So if I am able to solve the simultaneous equation, I should be able to fetch the value for W1 and W2. So just solve it. Solve me the two equations and get me the value of W1 and W2. Solve the two simultaneous equations. Just add it. So W2 will get cancelled, giving out 2 W1 is equal to some answer. So W1 will be equal to the answer divided by 2. So what's the value of W1? What is the value of W1? The value of W1 is found to be as 42.92 watts, kilowatts. Okay, good. 42.92 kilowatts. What's the answer for W2? What's the answer for W2? Minus 2.93 kilowatts. Okay, minus 2.93 kilowatts. So if you want to verify whether what answer you're getting is right or wrong, so you know W1 plus W2 should be equal to 40k. So when I sum this, 42 minus 2 is nothing but 40. Yes or no? We are able to verify the values of W1 and W2. It means the answer what we're getting is the right answer. Understanding? So W1 is 42.92 kilowatts, W2 is minus 2.93 kilowatts. Okay, is it clear? Okay, fine. Any doubts in this numerical? Any doubts in this numerical? Okay. So now We'll go to the last numerical for the day, the fourth numerical. There is some twisting in this numerical. You have to be very cautious when it comes to solving numericals on this. Now, first I shall go through the statement. The statement goes like this: if the readings on the two wattmeters in a three-phase balanced load are 836 and 224, the later reading being obtained after the reversal of the current coil, calculate the power and the power factor of the load. Okay, I read out the statement once again. If the readings on the two wattmeters in a three-phase balanced load are 836 and 224, the later reading being obtained after the reversal of current coil, calculate the power and power factor of the load. So here, what he's saying, he is giving us the readings. He's saying that if the readings on the two wattmeters in a three-phase balanced load are W1, the value of W1 is 836, 836 watts. It has to be watts only because it's reading by the wattmeter. W2 is equals to 224 watts. And then he's saying some statement there, right? The later reading being obtained, the later reading being obtained after the reversal of current coil. Then what we should do now? What we should do? Any hint you're getting? What I should do now? We had interacted about this topic when we were discussing about what is the effect of power factor on the wattmeters, wattmeter W1, W2. Good, Vaibhavi. So what this statement says is, whenever he says that later reading is obtained after reversing the value of or reversing the current coil, it means whatever reading the W2 is reading, now this value should be written with the negative sign. This value should be written with the negative sign. So W2 is negative. I just make you people understand. So this will be your wattmeter, wherein it is having the positive values on its meter. So from 0 to some finite value, which are all positive. Now, if this is your pointer, okay, it should be reading some positive values. Assume that if the pointer is going negative, like this. So this is the body of your meter. This is body of a meter. So beyond this, your pointer cannot move. It means it cannot read the negative value. It cannot read the negative value. So this condition we call it as kickback condition. This condition we call it as kickback condition. So in this kickback condition, what we're going to do over here is, since I cannot read the negative values, I will be interchanging the current coil. Yes or no? So this is my wattmeter. So this is M, L, C, and V. So this whatever is there, this I will replace it like this. I'll just flip it. After flipping, since I have flipped this direction now, direction has got changed, no? Since directions has got changed, now this particular coil will read positive values only. This pointer will move like this now. But I need to understand that this is not reading the positive value, since the coil I have made it reversed. Whatever readings is being displayed by this wattmeter, this readings has to be noted with the negative sign. Understanding? Is it clear to you? So it means this is the numerical on kickback condition. Okay. So then once if you know the value of W1 and W2, now what you people can do, you people can compute what is the value of W1 plus W2 and W1 minus W2. So if you do as such, then you can compute what is the total power and power factor of the circuit. Because you know what is the value of W1, you know what's the value of W2. So yes, so he's asking us what is the total power being consumed and power factor of the circuit. So only these two parameters he's asking. Right now. So now first in order to compute, so you send me the equations now. So in order to compute what is the total power, in order to compute what is the total power, what equation are you going to use? Total power when you know wattmeter readings. Yes, my dear students. So that will be equal to W1 plus W2, right? So P will be equal to W1 plus W2. So I know what's the value of W1. W1 is 836. And what about W2? W2 is minus 224. So this will be equal to what now? This will be equal to 612 watts. Good. Okay. So it means I'm able to compute what is the total power of the load. Now I need to compute what is the power factor. How to compute power factor? So power factor is equals to cos phi is equals to cos of tan inverse of root 3 into W1 minus W2 divided by W1 plus W2. This is equal to cos of tan inverse of root 3 as it is W1 minus W2. So I can write it in terms of readings only. So 836 minus will become plus. So 224 divided by 836 minus 224. So don't feel sir had written wrong. W1 minus W2 in the denominator and W1 plus W2 in the numerator. So don't feel like that. So since W2 is negative, so minus of minus becomes plus, and positive into negative will be your negative. Okay. So what's the answer for this? Just solve it. What is the answer for your cos phi? What is the answer for cos phi? Power factor it is 0.316. Okay, 0.316. Okay, is it clear to you? Yes, is it clear to you people? Okay, fine. Are there any doubts in the numericals which has been solved? Yes, any doubts?